I'm here to report a terrible crime.
The first Joker movie from Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix left a lot of ground to cover should a sequel be picked up. Bagging critical praise and even winning awards at the 2020 Academy Awards, the solo outing for Batman's greatest villain was a success. So, is it any surprise that Warner Brothers brought Phillips back for another round in 1980's Gotham City? All that's confirmed so far is the fact that the film will be a musical. Big question mark over that one. And that Lady Gaga will be starring alongside a returning Joaquin Phoenix. So, what could we get from all of this? Let's take a look at the possible plot threads that could emerge from the sequel. Watch until the end to see if there's any you hadn't thought of.
Playing my video, inviting me on the show. You just wanted to make fun of me.
Number 6. Harley Quinn. Since the release of the title, the possible appearance of Joker's partner in crime showing up has never been more likely. Folie à deux loosely translates as madness for two. This, plus the fact that Lady Gaga is definitely in a starring role alongside Phoenix's Arthur Fleck, points to this universe's version of Quinn showing up. In case you're not all that familiar with the character, let's give you some background. Originating in the 1990s animated Batman series, her real name was Dr. Harleen Quinzel, a psychiatrist at Gotham's Arkham Asylum. Taking Joker on as a patient, Quinzel found herself falling in love with the Clown Prince of Crime. After a time, she gave in to her urges and became his faithful sidekick and sometimes love interest in the biggest toxic relationship to ever be seen. The character has grown in popularity since, making her way into the comic books and even making it onto the big screen, being played by Margot Robbie in the DCEU.
Hi, boys.
Assuming Gaga is definitely portraying Quinn, one would assume that Phillips would want to honor the character's official origin story, in the same way that Bruce Wayne's origins were in the first film.
What's your name?
I'm Bruce.
It would be interesting to watch Quinn as she counsels Fleck and finds she must fight the urge to love him and support him in a more emotional way. With how eccentric Gaga is as a celebrity figure, we should expect quite a wild ride with her in the role. We should also expect some pretty good vocals. Let's hope that Phoenix can keep up. Although, having played Johnny Cash, he should have a fair chance.
I come to admire you even more.
Number 5. Another big twist. Now, one of the biggest eye-openers of 2019's Joker was the unexpected moments it gave us. We know that by his nature, you should expect the unexpected with the Joker. But never did we imagine it would feed so heavily into this grounded, darker plot. The revelation that Arthur's relationship with Zazie Beetz' Sophie was all in his head. The untrustworthy sources about Arthur's lineage. The shooting of Robert De Niro's Murray Franklin live on TV. These points are what gave the film a real boost and throw up that momentum. So, do you really think that Phillips will want to cut back on the sudden turns of the story? Maybe Harley Quinn is already as mad as Fleck and just makes it so she can hijack his sessions. Could it be that the musical tone of the film somehow ties into something unexpected? It could even be that we discover Fleck isn't the real Joker, as an overly erratic or emotional Quinn kills him. This leads us to our next point. Number 4. Copycat Jokers. It has been said by multiple sources that Phoenix's Joker might not even be the real Joker, as in Batman's real archenemy. Even if he is, with being incarcerated in Arkham State Hospital, you can bet there would be people eager to pick up the mantle in his absence. Many believe that Phillips's Joker could even take inspiration from popular comic book Three Jokers. In this comic story, the Bat family actually discovered that there may have been 3 Jokers working in tandem together all along, one being a true criminal, one being a clown-like figure, and one being a sadistic comedian. If this were to be incorporated into the sequel, who would be the top of the list for the other 2 Jokers? Well, Willem Dafoe obviously would be a front and center choice for one of them, but the jury's still out on who could bag those roles. This would also be a great way of giving Fleck a good enough reason to break out of Arkham with Quinn at his side. 2 other lunatics taking his glory whilst he's stuck in a padded cell? Something tells us Arthur wouldn't want other people taking up that mantle after the following he created. Number 3. A teenage Bruce Wayne. We probably wouldn't expect to get too much of this, but it would be a fun little something to keep an eye out for in the background. Fans will remember that Fleck actually believed a young Bruce to be his half-brother during the events of the first film, believing Thomas Wayne to be his father after sleeping with his mother Penny when she was in his employment.
My name is Arthur. Penny Fleck is my mother.
The obnoxious and hardened elder Wayne of course denied this and pushed Arthur further down his dark path.
Mother adopted you while she was working for us.
That's not true.
which indirectly caused Thomas and his wife Martha to be famously gunned down in front of their son. If the sequel were to see how Fleck's influence has caused uproar across Gotham, surely it would need to revisit how the murder of the Waynes affected their only son. It would be interesting to get a few moments alluding to how the young billionaire's doing in the aftermath. Is he becoming a bit of a King Joffrey in his adolescence? Is he going through a bit of an emo stage? Is he even already working towards his future crime fighting? The last one is probably unlikely, but you see what we mean. The TV show Gotham did touch on this idea, but we feel that a darker version from Phillips would give a much more interesting look at how young Bruce is coping in the early days of being an orphan. Number 2, Gotham in turmoil. This is very much something that should be addressed in the film. It's rumored that the majority of the film's story will take place in the confines of Arkham, but surely they'll be alluding to what's going on in the outside world of Gotham. When Arthur Fleck made his memorable appearance on Murray Franklin's show and gave Gotham's lower end of the food chain a new perspective on the city's society, he caused quite the rumble. There was chaos in the same night, with people taking a lot of stock in what this Joker had to say. So, as time passed, what has this seed of an uprising grown into?
Good night.
Remember, one of the big things that causes Batman to rise in the first place is the fact that Gotham needs saving. So, shouldn't we see the further decline of the city to hint at that? It could even be at the end of the film that Bruce realizes what he should do and prepare for as he grows into a man. Number 1, more Batman characters. Now, we're not asking for Bane and Dick Grayson to start popping up all over the city. That's not the world that Todd Phillips is building here, especially in a musical. Although I imagine Bane's singing voice to take things to a whole new octave. The first Joker movie simply gave us the Waynes
Look, pal, I'm not your father. What's wrong with you?
and Alfred Pennyworth.
There's nothing to know. There is no them.
This second movie is due to give us Harley Quinn, presumably.
Harley Quinn!
Don't mind me, guys.
Who else would fit into this world without it feeling completely shoehorned? Well, Jim Gordon and Harvey Bullock feel like a good fit, right? On first sight, the two cops in the first movie who end up trying to hunt Arthur down would have fit the bill, but they've since been revealed to be original characters. It would be nice for rookie cops Gordon and Bullock to find themselves in Arkham a few times, questioning Fleck for whatever reason. Who knows? But the sequel could still make sure that this universe stands alone while still throwing in the familiar name or two. Clearly, Joker Folie à Deux has a lot to play around with. Of course, we have until its release in October 2024 to keep pondering, but we can be sure that Phillips isn't taking his foot off the gas, as he's sure to give us a madcap sequel to the 2019 blockbuster hit. Do you have your own predictions that we didn't mention? Don't be shy. Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. Hey, is anyone else now struggling to get Bane singing Nessun Dorma out of their head? Seriously, does Phillips have time to do a quick rewrite?